Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm your host, Jesse Showalter, and I'm excited to be here on a Thursday afternoon for me. I don't know what time it is there for you, but let me know in the chat. Whoa, we got some things happening and noise on my computer. Let's turn that down and try to be a little bit more professional. Yikes. Well, all right. Hope everyone's doing good, and I hope you were able to stand the crazy noise that just came out while I'm trying to host this here live stream. But I hope you guys are having a fantastic Thursday, and we are on day 3 of the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. Welcome back. I'm excited that you're here. Let me know in the chat. Say hello. Give me your favorite emoji. Tell me where you're coming from. Let me know. Actually, this is an interesting question. How many times have you done an XD Daily Creative Challenge? How many times have you done a creative challenge here on Behance Live? Let me know. I'd love to hear it, whether or not you're new, whether it's your second time or your 50th time. It would be a pretty cool thing. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, come on over to Behance and watch it here. Sign in so you can engage in the live chat. That's where I'm reading the comments on my screen. That's where we get to talk and hang out. Richard Otley says, hey, what's up? We got Jafet and Fabiana. Fabi's name actually went in my design yesterday because she's awesome. And so we went ahead and put her name in there. Cornelia Black and Michelle. We'll say what's up to Jack Watson, Andreas Leon. We got Jonathan Brewery that is up in here. Somebody said happy Friday. Is it Friday? I think it's Thursday. I'm pretty positive it's Thursday. But with the whole isolation thing, you lose track of time very, very, very quickly. So we got people coming from London, people from Texas, people from India. Jennifer Poole says, well, I've worked on them, but I don't usually feel like they don't. I don't know what that means, Jennifer Poole. You're probably having a separate conversation, but that's cool too. Jump in the chat, have a conversation with me, have a conversation with others. People coming from Florida. Ashley says she's at home in Atlanta. All right, I hope everyone's staying safe. Hope everyone's doing good. Well, if you are new to the Daily Creative Challenge and you don't know what's up with it, let's talk a little bit about it. This is the Daily Creative Challenge. You can find it at behance.net/challenge/XD, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. It's a way to sharpen your skills in 9 challenges. Today, we are on challenge number 3. Numero tres today. Each day you're going to receive a challenge. You can see them. They unlock right down there. Today we're going to be doing some voice prototyping, and we're going to be designing an audiogram app. This whole series of challenges is about staying connected with people. So let's create a smartwatch kind of way to send audiograms to people and just tell them maybe you love them. Maybe a grandchild to the grandparent, maybe a friend to a friend. That's what we're going to do today. You can get your starting file right there, and you can connect in the community chat, not just the live chat where Nick Burns and Julia is, and Stephanie and Candace and Zoe and Richard and Jennifer. Not just that one, but the Adobe XD Discord server, where we have over 35,000 creatives. This is where you're going to find feedback and community and critique on your work and friends and great conversation. And we have our current challenges tab. We're going to be looking at some of the work that was posted in the current challenge tab at the end of today's stream. We're going to be checking this out, and I'm going to be giving you some feedback and some of my thoughts. Next, you're going to watch the daily live show. You're already doing that, so you are crushing it. And lastly, you're going to share your work on either Discord or Behance. If you share it on Behance, you want to make sure that you use the hashtag XD Daily Challenge. That way people can search for it and we can pull your stuff up. So that'll be pretty cool. Let's see. Jennifer Poole says, Jesse, you asked about the XDs. I work on them, but I'm a perfectionist, so I rarely post on Discord or Behance. Oh, come on, Jennifer Poole, let's do this. I want to see the amazing work that you are doing. All right, well, we've got lots of people in there. Sam Peterson is moderating our chat. Say what's up to Sam. Give him a little emoji thumbs up, and let's get started, shall we? I'm going to open up Adobe XD, and if you download the starting file, it'll look something like this, maybe a little bit different. I actually think I just had a smartwatch artboard, and in the meantime, I created a couple of icons, or found a couple of icons, and created a couple of little buttons, and I picked the typography. We're going to be using Interstate today, and I got a little smartwatch frame and a smartwatch artboard there. We are on challenge number 3, and again, designing an audiogram app that allows kids to send loving voice messages to their grandparents or relatives or friends, whatever you do. We want to focus on voice triggers and prototype the audio recording and messaging experience. So voice animations, voice prototyping, super awesome thing inside of Adobe XD. So that's pretty cool. We got some inspirations down there for you and some resources if you're looking for icons, fonts, imagery, that kind of stuff. It's all down there in the starting file. Let's get to work, because these XD Daily Creative Challenges are hard for me because I like to chat. And it's hard. I want to make sure I get stuff done here. So why don't we get started? I'm actually just going to kick myself over to the right-hand side so I'm not in the way. All right. Let's see. Let's do it. What should we do first? Well, again, because it's a smartwatch, and you have to imagine, look how small that space is. We're not talking about a phone. We're not, I mean, when I zoom in, it looks real big, but it's not, right? This text, even though it looks massive, it's only 36. We can just bring that in. You can see that takes up the entire frame. So one of the deals, I haven't done a lot of smartwatch design in production, but one of the things I know is when you have limited space, you have to really boil things down to the bare bones basics of what we need to do. So we want to make things really easy. And also, if this was for a kid, we want to make sure it's really, really simple to use, okay? Now I have kind of a crazy idea about creating a multi-state button. I'm wondering if it's gonna work. So here was kind of my idea about this multi-state button, and let's see how it goes. We might have to come back and talk multi-state button, but all of these circles look a little bit off, and that's because they should be 36 by 36, not 37 by 36. Woo, just that little, wow. Okay, here we go. So why don't we bring in our first button, shall we? Okay, and let's just stretch this thing up. And I'm just gonna make sure my icons are centered, and they just don't seem centered, do they? So I'm gonna zoom in here. And what's funny is like, it is centered. It's just one of the things that looks off is because the button just didn't have enough space in it. And that's probably okay. Something you're gonna notice also when we create these buttons, it's still a little bit shy of being perfect. Okay, now you'll see. I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to use my measurements just by holding down the option key. You can see I'm 27 pixels on every side away, but at a distance, this looks slightly off. This is an optical illusion. I forget exactly what the term is for it. But it's the same thing with this play button. If you set something like this exactly in the middle, it's going to look a little bit off. Why? Because you have a stem, and the large mass or the majority of the weight of this icon sits above this little stem. So I'm actually just gonna cheat it and just take it down 1 pixel or 2 pixels. It looks optically a little bit more correct, even though it's not perfectly spaced. I know that's wonky, but it's a thing. So Jennifer Poole says, is there a new narrow version of the wearable? I have one of those women's ones that are almost have the width. There are lots of different wearables, and you should be designing specifically for the project you're working on. I just threw an Apple Watch out there because it's kind of common. But if you're doing like a Fitbit interface or some other sort of interface, you'd want to design specifically for that size. We have this nice big button here, and I like it. It has this fun purple thing going on. Let's bring some simple text in here. I'm just going to move this typography up and out of the way. This is really big, so let's shrink this down and let's just do something like a simple set of instructions. And I think bold might be too much. Let's go back down to regular. Let's just do something like press and hold to record. Why am I capitalizing? Record your message, okay? I'm gonna move this to an area text. The difference between point text and area text is when you have it as point text, it's gonna capture exactly around the borders or edges of my text. And then area text, I can create like a text box and make it sit inside of that text box. So that's kind of what we want. We want it to sit inside of this text box, and my little red dot at the bottom lets me know that if I double click on it, it's just gonna expand the text area to match. Okay, let's move this more in the center. And I feel like, here's the deal with wearables, with smartwatches, maybe that's all we need it to be. And maybe we can add a little bit of accent here to just match the idea cognitively of message with this button, right? I'm gonna create a message and it's gonna do it here, purple and purple. We're connecting the call to actions together. I saw something I was kind of inspired by in our little inspirations. Let's call this button dash record. Okay, and why don't we get inside of button dash record? What do we have? We have the main circle here. Why don't we make another one, another ellipse, but I'm gonna name this ellipse ring, and I'm gonna stretch it out. I'm gonna turn the border on, and let's just chill that border out a little bit. We're just gonna neutralize it and knock the color down. Something like that. Why don't we make another one, another ring? Okay, so let's make ring 1 and ring 2. And let's make ring 1 even a little bit further out. Now both of these need to get just brought down a little bit more. Okay, something like that. Let's bring this whole button down, and maybe the whole button's just too big itself. So we're gonna bring it down, okay? Pretty good. Let's just grab our rings and stretch them out and give them a little bit more space. Come on, let's let things breathe. Let's bring a little white space in here. All right, okay, here we go. Everyone's talking about their time zones. Having fun in the chat. Sounds pretty cool. I'm digging it. Okay, so let's just say that's it. I mean, maybe we could add a little bit more spice to this thing by taking our ellipse, and we have a little bit of this kind of purpley shadow on it, and let's bring it down just a little bit, like down to like 10 or 9. You can barely tell that it's there, but it's something, okay? It's kind of something. All right, so I'm just manipulating a little bit as we go, something like that. So now we're gonna let our users kind of tap this, but let's do something really cool just while we're here, okay? Why don't we drag another version of this down, okay? And why don't we take our rings and bring them back behind our button like this, okay? And why don't we take the shadow and just up the shadow a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna grab the entire artboard here. I'm gonna go to my prototype tab, and I'm gonna prototype to my next artboard, and I'm gonna do a timed transition. I'm gonna auto animate. Let's have it take an entire, 1 second, and we'll ease in and out. I don't know how that's gonna look, but let's just try it. And then we'll come down here and we will do the same exact thing. I want like a pulsing effect. While it's sitting there, it's calling to you, it's beckoning you to tap and hold on it and do your thing. So with that said, I'm selecting my artboard, press play, and I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you can see it because it's such a small workspace. So it's just kind of pulsing a little bit. Something's wrong with it. I probably have a layers issue. Like, let's go back and check design. We have ellipse, our 2 rings underneath, and here we have ellipse and our 2 rings underneath. Everything should be fine. Boom, 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 boom. Ellipse, 2 rings underneath. It should be fine. I don't know why it's pulsing, but you know, whatever. That's cool. Let's go back to prototype and just span this out maybe to like 1.5 seconds. Why can't you do 1.5? You sure can. There it goes. 1.5. I was having a little problem there. 1.5. You see what I'm doing over there in my right hand panel, just adding my transition, my easing time there. Let's play it again and let's just watch it and see how it looks. Looks kind of cool. It's just kind of calling. Now our shadow is doing something funky. We'd have to troubleshoot that. That's fine. All right, next thing we want to do is after our user has tapped and they've held on it, we're representing a tap and hold. But what we really want to do is we're going to do a sound prototype by holding down our space trigger, or voice prototype, excuse me. We are going to come over here and let's do our next piece, okay? Now, I'm gonna clear this away and I'm gonna move this, well, yeah, let's go back to our design tab. I'm gonna get rid of this for now. I might bring it back. I'm gonna move that off the stage there, so to speak. And I'm gonna create, well, let's bring in our, no, not play button yet. Let's do a rectangle here. Put it right in the middle. Let's make this really simple, okay? Again, could be for kids, could be for adults too. Let's just do a nice light gray, okay? We have this nice light gray color. This is gonna be our audio file. And inside of that, why don't we make a couple of lines here, okay? So we're gonna do lines. Let's take our border radius and just bump it up. What color will we use? Let's take this border off of it. We will take this blue color. Let's make that our kind of like our play color. This is pretty thin. Let's go up to like 4 pixels or something like that. Make it a little chunkier. That's kind of cool. Let's stretch them down. Whoa, let's stretch them down this way. And then we are just going to, I'm wondering if I repeat grid, I can stretch these out, can't I? Yes, I can. So why don't we repeat grid like this? And bring this down, and now I should be able to, oh, no, can't do that. I'll tell you what, let's go back. Let's not repeat grid this. Let's just do that and whoop, and stretch those out. Why don't we, got the same spacing? Okay, spacing, something like this. Well, we could be using a repeat grid. We should be using repeat grid, but we're not doing things the right way, are we? That's okay. So now what I'm gonna do is just come in here and select a bunch of these and just resize them. Like that, boom, boom, boom. Let's resize those. Boom, boom, and let's resize those. It looks like a little audio file, doesn't it? It looks kind of cute. So let's grab all of them, just group them together and call this audio. Things are going okay. Sam's dropping some cool links down in the chat to Discord and to sign up for the challenge, okay? Richard Ollie was giving me some advice on that stinking repeat grid that was just throwing me for a loop, but now it's working all right. Now I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do a little timed transition. You're gonna see this whole thing come together here in 2 seconds. Why don't we just, we're gonna reanimate some things here, okay? Boom, we're gonna move these around. We're gonna move those around. Let's do some one-off sizing here. We're just gonna create the animation, the timed animation back and forth between the two states, and we'll see if we can get it to look like audio being recorded, okay? So it's gonna be a quick one though, isn't it? So let's go back to our prototype tab, and we are going to do a, pardon me. We need to get rid of that prototype right there. So this one and this one, right? Okay, cool. Now this one, you can only have one of each type of prototype or interaction. So I can only have one timed, and it was still holding on to the one from the previous artboard. That's what happens. So we want to do timed. We don't want to do a delay. We want to auto animate, and we want this to be a little quicker. How about 0.5 seconds? Something like that. Ease in, ease out. And let's do the same thing coming back. Ease in, ease out. Let's look and see what does it look like? It looks like audio being recorded. A little bit. I mean, it's not like perfect, but it's pretty cool. Now let's do a voice transition over from this guy. So we're going to do a tap, quote unquote. It's really going to be a voice. So it's going to be the same for either one of these guys. So we're going to come over to prototype. Okay. I'm going to zoom in so we can see what we're doing here. And I'm going to drag it over to one of my artboards. It actually doesn't matter which artboard, because as soon as you get to one or the other, it's gonna start animating back and forth timed between the two. We want to do a voice trigger, okay? What do we want to say? We have to program some sort of animation. Hi, Grandma, I miss you. Let's do something like that, okay? Hi, Grandma, I miss you. And we are going to auto animate over to that watch, and it's going to ease in and out, something like that. Now, why don't we're going to do the same thing, boom, and we just want to make sure we have the same exact voice command. So we have, hi, Grandma, I miss you. It's the same exact thing happening on either one of them, and it should auto animate. Although we still have to put the before and after states in each one of them, but let's just check and see if it works for right now, okay? I'm going to zoom in. And then I'm going to press my space bar, which is what you have to do when you're doing voice trigger animation stuff, and say the phrase, which is, hi, Grandma, I miss you. Let's try it. Ready? I'm just going to move my microphone forward. Here we go. Hi, Grandma, I miss you. Did it work? Something's broken. Let's try it again. Let's try, hi, Grandma, I miss you. Maybe that's too difficult. Maybe let's just do hi, Grandma, something like that, something easier. Okay, and am I doing it right? Spacebar? Hi, Grandma. Not working. Boy, this is the best thing ever when you're doing a stream about voice trigger animations. Can we all just laugh along and talk about how this is the great way to spend a Thursday? Just going for it and failing. Here we go. We're gonna try, what's my deal? Voice? Let's try something easy. Hello, okay? And hello. I have a theory if this doesn't work as to why, and I'll let you know in a second. Hello! Oh, whoops, I gotta press spacebar. Hello. Okay, I have a theory. I'm not using a time transition, am I? That's why. Thank you, chat. Thank you for helping me. And I was gonna say, it was something like that, my suspicion, but it wasn't quite as perfect and spot on as that. I was afraid that because it was timing back and forth, somehow it wasn't catching my voice, but one of them was timed, so I was probably just messing it up. It was me messing up. So now they're both voice. Let's try something simple like hello. Gonna press spacebar. Hello. No match for who. Okay, I gotta get closer to my computer screen. Hello. There it goes, and it starts animating. Come on, praise the Lord. Let's get it going here. All right, so that's working fine. Let's try hello, grandma. Hello, grandma. Boom. Hello, grandma. Let's try that one. I'm gonna press play. Hello, grandma. And it works. Now, let's bring our elements into view, into place. We should have it on both of these, okay? So here we go. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put it over here. I'm gonna bring my little audio file down, and just like that. I'm gonna bring it into my next one, same place. Now, when we get our animation, hello, grandma. There it goes. It swoops up from the bottom. But likewise, we need our little button thing to disappear also. So we're going to bring it off canvas like that. Bring the opacity down. Let's bring this one over and bring it out. Woo! Watch out now. Just getting some leftover pieces on my artboards. Let's try it one more time. And now that we know that the voice trigger is there, let's just set up a secondary interaction. Let's do a tap animation that goes over there. Choose an artboard. We're going to go to number 3. That should go as well. So now we have a tap. You can see a tap and a voice. I'm going to do the same thing here. We're going to do tap auto animate up to number 3. That should work just fine. So now not only can we speak, but we can tap, and we're getting our animation. Okay. Now, what we should do is we can't do a secondary timed one, but what we can do is like a tap. So why don't we do that? Why don't we do a new artboard? Let me go back to my design thing here. Bring it over on my design tab. Let's move our buttons over. We might not even use these buttons. We might not have time for these buttons today because I only got 3 minutes left. Wow, this is going really fast. The next thing we should do is we want to do a tap animation over to there just for prototype's sake. And we will bring this up. And why don't we bring our buttons in? Okay, so this would be like being able to preview something like this. We don't have to bring it that far up. Bring it up something like that. Okay, so we're going to take these buttons and we're going to actually, you know what we'll do is we'll grab these. We'll call these controls and we will bring it over into our previous. And we're going to just stagger them to get that fun staggered animation effect. I'm going to bring that down like so. Woo! Just opacity it like that. Let's do the same thing down here. Now, once we're here, we should be able to tap on either one of those. We need to make sure that both have that tap animation or that tap interaction. So now while it's animating, you know, we are pretending we're prototyping as if we're done recording. And now we get our little preview controls of being able to play, you know, go back, re-record, or go ahead and send this little thing out. And that is our animation for the day. Let's zoom in and see a little bit of the work we've done here. So let's go full screen. It's hard to see this little teeny tiny thing right here. I wish I could zoom in, but press and hold, it's pulsing, it's doing its thing. We're gonna animate over there using our voice or with a tap, and then we'll tap this and move up to our controls. And that is about it. That's all we really have time for the day. You could take this a bunch of other ways and have lots of fun with it. Play with voice triggers. I even had some sounds that you can do now new like sound effects and interactions and actions based off of all of those different prototyping things that you could do. let's go quickly over and look at a couple from yesterday's recipe application. What do we got here? This one is by Aisha Tahir, and I love the colors. I love the simplicity. I like horizontal scroll. We didn't do that yesterday, but that's a nice implementation. Really, really cool stuff. This one is by Hadil. This one I would say is a little bit on the busy side. I would say maybe watch that typography and careful of the contrast of using type on top of images. Spend some time kind of working through those ones. I am not showing you my screen, so I probably should be showing you my screen as I do these. There it is. The previous one was Aisha Tahir with the color and the horizontal scrolling. Let's do one more. We got a little prototype action here. Let's see it. This one's pretty nice. Beautiful. Look at that. Simple transitions. Doesn't even need to be auto animate. Simple swipes. Really nice. Thoughtful of the interaction. Looks wonderful. Let's see, who is that one by? That one was by Madison Bass Taylor. Love the work. Love the work. And I apologize for showing you guys stuff or talking about stuff without showing you. Really quickly, let's hit the schedule. Coming up next should be drawing along with Kyle T. Webster, and then after that, designing in 3D with Alex Lazarus. I believe that's still the schedule. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, I apologize, and Sam Peterson will probably correct me. I hope you guys have had a fantastic time on today's stream here at the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. Hone your skills, do the work at the challenge, submit it inside of Discord or on Behance. We'll look at those tomorrow, I promise, with a little bit more time. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you tomorrow.